Welcome to another edition of Dan Frequently Asked Questions. In this question, again, we are going to deal with the nebulous question of Warfarin and diving. Keep watching. In this edition, we are going to deal with a question about someone who wants to go diving deeper on warfarin, and they want to know if it's safe. Now, you'll remember that years ago, warfarin was a complete no-no, and one of the reasons was because it might increase the chances of getting a bleed in the spinal cord or inner ear, or just because of a traumatic injury. The difficulty here is twofold. First of all, we need to know why the individual is taking warfarin. Usually it's because of a deep venous thrombosis, and typically because there's been pulmonary embolism of clots. You don't just put somebody on warfarin for nothing. If that's the case, then the risk of whether or not these clots are stable or now gone, whether there's a residual risk of pulmonary thromboembolism, needs to be confirmed. The fact that the person is still on warfarin means that there seems to be an additional risk. Now, often physicians will give a period of 6 months simply just to play it safe. If that's the case, one could probably undergo tests to see whether clots are still within the body. But there's another thing that needs to be considered, and that is getting to the place you're going diving. Remember that air travel itself is one of the causes of deep venous thrombosis. It is said that for every hour of flying, the chance is at least between 1 and 5% to get deep venous thrombosis. And although the warfarin would provide some protection, it will not necessarily prevent a person altogether from getting clots and the resulting consequence of pulmonary embolism. So nowadays there are machines just like the glucose or glucometers that allow you to check your PA, which is a measure as to how effective the warfarin is. You need to be between 2.5 and 3.5 typically, and if that's the case, then usually warfarin is a very reasonable risk. However, it is very vulnerable to diet, and when traveling, diet is often something that is hard to control simply because of the country you're in. So the bottom line is to go to a diving physician knowledgeable about these things, and then to consider firstly whether there's a risk, an underlying cause, and whether or not it may even be possible to switch you to some of the more modern drugs that have fewer side effects and also may be a better choice for you if you want to continue diving. As to going deeper, please remember the deeper you go, the greater the chances are not only of getting decompression illness, but of a more serious kind, particularly spinal cord and inner ear decompression illness. So if I had to give a basic answer just to the question at face value, I wouldn't think it's in your best interest to return to diving while on warfarin, but it's something that you can discuss with a diving physician and a hematologist or physician that is knowledgeable about these things. So, hope that helps. Until next time, safe diving.